Good evening. The pulse of America tonight. Getting vaccinated really is a life or death decision. A health system in Colorado, UC Health, is denying organ transplants to patients who are not vaccinated against COVID. The reason is obvious. UC Health says, citing scientific studies, the mortality rate for transplant patients who get COVID can be as high as 32%, nearly a third. And as a result, the unvaccinated, including Leilani Lutali, don't go to the back of the line for transplants. They get kicked out of line. Lutali says she had found her donor on her own, and you'll see her in a minute. She'll be seated on her right, and everything was all set until she said she wouldn't get the shot.
I feel like I'm being coerced into not being able to wait and see, and that I have to take the shot if I want this life-saving transplant.
No, I wouldn't be able to take the COVID shot. The comment was, well, then your journey ends here, because we require all of our donors and all of our recipients to have the COVID-19 vaccine.
So we reached out to the hospital. They told us, quote, in almost all situations, transplant recipients and living donors at UC Health are now required to be vaccinated against COVID-19 in addition to meeting other health requirements and receiving additional vaccinations. But in this specific case, the patient claims to already have immunity. She already had the virus.
If I probably came down with a second case of COVID, it would be minimal. And my first time around, I was almost asymptomatic. So I'm not worried about that piece.
But her transplant doctors obviously disagree. It does raise the question, though. If you want to give a kidney to a loved one and that person wouldn't otherwise get one, should doctors have the right to send a letter like this one, saying they have the right to deny your loved one your kidney and to remove you from the kidney transplant list? That's where we start tonight, and we have a great person to ask right out of the gate. Dr. Brett Giroir is with us. He was a COVID testing czar in the Trump administration and a former assistant secretary of the Health and Human Services Department. Doctor, we're seeing all sorts of interesting dilemmas with this virus. I guess the question on this case, though, is she found the kidney. Should she get the transplant regardless?
So this is a very complicated issue, and first of all, my heart goes out to this individual person and to all of those who are waiting on the transplant list. I don't know anything about her specific case, but let me give you a couple facts. It is really the case that after transplant, because patients have to be on immunosuppressive drugs, that their T cells and B cells don't work. And if a doctor provided a kidney transplant to a person who was at risk of COVID, who was not protected, that person could have a 30 or 40% chance of dying. So it's very, very critical. No doctor wants to send a patient to their death sentence. The second issue is, and it may not be relevant in this case, but in general, organs are very precious. They are very, very scarce. And we have a responsibility to provide them to those who could benefit. We don't give organs to people who have advanced cancer because that organ would, quote, be wasted or less useful than to another person. So I think we have to be careful and make sure that organs go to individuals who will survive and thrive. It's in most cases. That may not be the case for this individual person, but it is a consideration.
The other, I guess, twist in this case, doctor, is the fact that she has antibodies. And that gets us to another question about natural immunity that we've talked a lot about on this program, but we don't seem to really get the answers. And it's part of a debate that I guess has gone sort of unanswered across the country. So how do we know if this person has had COVID, she has an antibody level that would protect her from getting it again?
So let me just talk in general. And I do believe this, and no matter what Twitter or Facebook says, there are no data that prove that vaccine immunity is superior to natural immunity. That just doesn't exist, and in fact, there are much data to the contrary. That being said, even if you have natural immunity, if you get a vaccine, you can be even super protected. So for people who are not undergoing a transplant, I think the data are clear. Natural immunity is powerful and should be an option to vaccines for those who don't want to get the vaccine for any reason. For this individual, you know, the data aren't out. There's just not enough information about people who may or may not have had COVID and then go get immunosuppressed with a transplant. I think getting a vaccine for this individual would be safe. I would encourage her, unless she has some unusual allergic reaction, to get a dose of the Pfizer vaccine. It will boost her immunity and go get that life-saving kidney transplant that we all want her to get.
Exactly. That's very well put, Doctor. But on the antibody point, is there a way for people, because I know a lot of folks are doing this, they're getting the antibody test. If you get this test, does it say your antibody level is here versus where it would be if you got the vaccine? And can you use that antibody test as a gauge for when you should get the vaccine?
To a degree, this is a very good question. Most antibody tests do not provide you the level of antibody, but there are specific tests that you can get from laboratories that provide you the actual level of the antibodies are there. And even though it's not perfect, we make a lot of decisions right now on the levels of antibody. They do correlate with your chances of getting COVID again after having a certain antibody level. If your antibody levels are high, you're very protected. If they're low, they're not. So yes, you can get that test. They're usually at laboratories, but they're not the kind that you prick your finger and just do it on a sheet of paper. But that can provide a guide. And I encourage physicians to do that with their patients for people like this. You know, we practice individualized medicine. We don't practice cookbook medicine for a whole population. It's about the doctor and that patient. And I would encourage that kind of test for this individual as well.
Right. Doctor, let's move on to something we heard today from former FDA Chief Dr. Scott Gottlieb about the Delta variant. We'll play it and get your comment after.
Obviously, different parts of the world are going to be grappling with this on different timetables. But I think in the United States, this Delta wave is probably the last major surge of SARS-CoV-2 infection that we have in the U.S., barring something unexpected happening with the virus. By unexpected, I mean getting a new variant that pierces the immunity that we've acquired from either vaccination or from prior infection.
So this seems like great news, Doctor. What does it mean, actually? Have we turned a corner, do you think, and will we have more positive news as the Delta variant runs its course?
As Yogi Berra said, predictions are very hard, especially about the future. So we all have to be humble about this.
Sure.
But I do believe we have had a turning point. Delta was so contagious that it swept through the susceptible population, all those who had not gotten a vaccine and all those who had never had COVID before. Remember, we were having, even though they reported 100,000 cases a day, it was more like 500,000 cases a day. So I do believe the virus is burning out all the susceptible individuals. There will likely be another bump in November or December, a minor one. But I agree with Dr. Gottlieb, my former colleague, that we are probably over the hump with Delta. We can't let our guard down, but most people now are either immune naturally because of Delta sweeping through, or they've been vaccinated, or a combination of the two.
Doctor, you had a front row seat to a lot of what's happened over the last 2 years, I guess we'll call it now, because it's getting close almost. I want to show you some video of protests in New York first, and then ask the question after. This is all stemming from the mandates. There's been so much pushback, Doctor, from healthcare workers as well to get the shot. We're seeing these protests. People are quitting their jobs. People are getting fired from their jobs. There's all the debate about the mandates. Where are you on all this as you watch it somewhat removed now from where you were?
Well, you know, I think anytime you have to resort to mandates or vaccine coercion, that reflects a failure of leadership and communication. We're adults. We live in a democracy. We all have individual liberties. And number 1 through 1,000 choice should be convincing people. And what I think you've seen from even before the election, where President Biden and Vice President Harris were doubting the Trump administration vaccine, to all the mixed messaging from the CDC, is people are confused and they're frustrated. And you see that by these chants in New York City and around the country. So I think we need to step back and stop pointing to our stripes and coercing people, and try to have clear, honest communication. And I do believe part of that is, if you have natural immunity, you are about as protected or even more than if you had the vaccine. We ought to acknowledge that. We also ought to acknowledge that having tests 2 or 3 times a week is equally protective to people around you than you having the vaccine or probably natural immunity. So there are a number of ways to do this. I don't know why the politics of vaccination is driving the public health science when there are alternate waves. This is not good versus bad. We're all Americans trying to do the right things to protect ourselves and our family. If we can give people choices, we should do that. And I think the science says we can offer people choices. I'm pro-vaccine. I got my vaccines. I got my booster. So did my wife and my family. But there are others who feel differently, and we need to respect them and work with them, not villainize them.
Dr. Brett Giroir, it's great to have your voice with us tonight on this very important topic. It's great to see you. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.